Hello and welcome to Insider Secrets to Grow Your Local Business Website. I'm Rhonda Kay. If you're watching this presentation and you signed up, I've got some free gifts for you, so stay to the end and I'll tell you all about those. You won't want to miss them. My philosophy is if you own a website business, you ought to be making money with it. I am Rhonda Kay. I'm here to tell you what to do in 2022. Let's get started. Make sure I got my technology set up properly. Okay, I think that's it. If you're on this training, you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, an internet marketer, or website owner, and you want to see better results out of your website. Like I said, you ought to be making money with your website, and there is a way that you can do it. Stick with me, I will show you how. The reason I created this training is I in the early 90s, well, no, not the early 90s, the late 90s, I discovered the internet and I fell in love. I was going to school to get my degree in programming, and I taught myself to build websites. And then I ended up building a website, a training website for the company that I worked for. And after that, I began to train people on technology and things like that. Back then, there was not a lot of training. There wasn't any school that you could go to learn the things that I know today because they didn't exist. If you had asked me when I was a child, and I'll tell you a little bit about that, I would not ever have dreamed that I would be doing what I'm doing today, and mainly because there was no such thing. Isn't technology great? So, my childhood, my siblings and I loved poetry, writing, and drawing, and my siblings and I would get together and we'd do these presentations. And we thought for sure we'd be in Hollywood, either with a music group or making movies, because I did go to school to learn movie productions, and I thought I'd be somewhere on TV. In fact, the image you see here is a photo that my sister took when she and I would go on these photo excursions. We were so proud of being able to take pictures with a 35 millimeter. And so, like I said, I thought we would be in Hollywood. And it seemed like I was headed that way because in 2007, I produced The Rhonda K Show, a show created for and because of the people. That was one of my lines from the show. But that's me in the upper left-hand corner with Michael Jenkins of the Dallas Summer Musicals. He won 2 Tony Awards around that time. And I was interviewing him that day about the business of show business. And then I would also interview people, local businesses in the community, local artists in the community as well, who might not otherwise get TV time. And that was one of the reasons I learned to develop high quality video back in the day, because television was expensive. And so the image you see now is a website. My daughter told me, "Hey, mom, I think you should do a website business because people are always asking you to do websites." And so at the time, I was working for a company who sent me to formal training to learn more web development stuff. I did VRU programming and things like that, which I hated the telecom side of it, but I absolutely loved the web business. And so I thought, why not? The website you see here is an exam prep website for educators in the medical field. And so they would go here every year to renew their license. And I was quite proud of that. And it wasn't long before people started coming to me. Then eventually, Web 2.0, if you don't know what that is, it is social media, things like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr. I forget one that it was Blogspot, I think, where you would go there just to blog. But website properties like that. And it was part of the Google algorithm, which required people, which Google required in order for people to do well on the internet. And so it wasn't long after that, I got a MySpace account. In fact, two of my friends, one being David and Tamala Mann of Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns, and the other being Fred Hammond, the gospel music singer. I had 9 total friends. And when I looked out there today, they're still my friends, although I seriously doubt that anyone that I was friends with back then still uses MySpace. But I thought that was kind of funny. I don't even remember requesting them to be my friends or them requesting me or however it happened. I don't even remember how it happened. So after that, Web 2.0 became stronger, and I started hearing gurus and even other people say, owning your own website is obsolete. Huh. And then I started to hear customer email is obsolete, because we had the iPhone apps and we had text messaging application, and that was the new craze. But if you know, apps are still here, email is still here. And so, Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, those are all good platforms, because if you implement and use those tools properly, you're going to do well on the internet. One of the rules or requirements is, get a Google account and a YouTube account and link your website to it. Facebook account. You see the little icons on everybody's websites, and if you don't have them, I would recommend getting those. And then you can learn how to use them later, but at least have the accounts. And in fact, if you do the right things when you're on these platforms, your business will do well. Imagine, so you've got all your social media accounts set up, your TikTok, your Instagram, your YouTube, and you might even have a TikTok account. I don't have one, but imagine you've got all of that stuff set up properly and you're making money with your website because you followed all the rules. And you wake up, and on October 4th, if you're like me, you woke up like this lady you see on the screen. But it wasn't long before I looked like this. And that's because when I went to my computer, I saw this. And I tried to figure out what was going on. And nobody I knew that was in my circle that I contacted at the time knew what was happening. So I did a little bit of research and found out that Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, they were all down, and they were down for a good part of the day. Now, I don't rely heavily on social media, but this particular day, I was excited about getting ready for this presentation. So when I went to Facebook to put an ad in, then I couldn't, my hands were tied. And so that is the other reason or the other purpose for this kind of training. In fact, not only that, I also got an email from Google saying that my ad account was canceled because I wasn't spending any money. And so for me, these accounts are secondary. They're great accounts to have. Now, what's the solution? I can go back and reopen. There are some things or a process that I can go through with Google, and then they will unsuspend. In fact, I've already done that. But I'm saying that to say it's not a bad thing or a good thing. If I want to use the other platforms, then I'm going to have to follow the rules or use it the way that they intend. People get mad because Facebook bans their account or blocks posts, or YouTube will pull a video off. But I don't look at that as a bad thing. I look at it as they own those companies. They allow the people to use those platforms for free. And then, in addition to that, we have to comply with that. And our businesses can benefit. Now, what's the solution? I'm glad you asked. By the way, if you don't know me already, I'm Rhonda Kay, developer, consultant, entrepreneur. A little side note, someone said I should change that picture out of me to one with the photo of me smiling. That's a selfie. So if you take selfies, I'm not a selfie taker. I don't stand in front of and take a picture of myself and smile. But if you were to take a picture of me, I would smile. Long story short, I kind of liked that photo, so I put it in my presentation. I didn't mean anything by it, but I'll smile in the video. But long story short, I was one of the first people to have quality online video. I have worked with big names in sports and entertainment, and I piloted the first app development course at the University of Texas and ended up creating the first iPhone app for the Dallas Video Fest. When I was at the University of Arlington of Texas at Arlington, there was a program. The iPhone technology was new, and I was excited about it. It was a grad program, and they had the science department and the film department, which I was a part of the film department at the time, because again, I was going to Hollywood. Those two departments were partnering to do something great with iPhone technology. Well, the science department backed out, and I was highly disappointed because that means the program was going to be canceled. And so I met with the director over the film department and I said, hey, my background is in programming. I believe that I could lead the charge on this new technology and we could build something. And so that's what happened. And that's how I got into mobile development. I'm quite proud of that as well. Now, in this video, I may not get to cover all things, but I'm going to show you some basic secrets that you can use and begin getting results starting today. These are secrets that will, once implemented, position your websites at the top of Google. Again, I believe if you have a website, you want your website to make money. And if you do the right things and you don't have to do tricks or anything like that, you're going to position your website and it's going to be stronger. Secret number one, removing the fear. We're going to talk about what makes an enterprise website in case you're interested in making your sites look like the big boys. We're going to talk about how to beat the Google algorithm in case, in fact, I've already shared a portion of that, and that is don't try to do any tricks. Operate your business like a business, and that includes on the web. Secret number three, going to learn how to protect your domain account and avoid being overcharged. Secret number four, how to make your website pop. Secret number five, how to overcome big tech. That'll be sprinkled throughout this presentation. And so will secret number six. How can we take back our power? We use all of the big boy technologies and sometimes we feel powerless. Well, you still absolutely do have power. And secret number seven, how to know if your advertising is working. I'm going to share that tip with you right now and get that one over with. All of these secrets, by the way, can be divided up into one separate topic on their own, which I will at a later date have separate topics you can learn about. And if you're on this webinar, a lot of what I said, you'll be able to get it for free in my ebook, which I'll talk about later and I'll tell you how to get it. So secret number seven, how to know if your advertising is working. That one is an easy one. Put Google Analytics on your website and you track it. For instance, if I tell you that you will get traffic by placing a link on my website or a banner on my website, for instance, I have 1 million people coming to my website a month, and you want to know how many of those 1 million people are coming to your website. Google Analytics will give you the number of people and how long they stayed on your website, and Google will tell you where those people came from. It came from this page. Let's say you put a link on leezy.net/advertising. Then Google will show that link in your reports. And that lets you know it's, let's say you're paying me $300 a month and you got 300 leads, then you'll know that that $300 is well worth spending because you paid $1 per lead. So that is a quick tip about how to know if your advertising is working. If you're paying for advertising, then it ought to generate results. Okay, secret number 1. Education is the best way to remove fear. I'm going to quickly talk about what makes an enterprise website. I may cover the different types of websites, but I may skip over that. So let's just see how it goes. There are informational websites. They only have information about what your business is. It doesn't do anything special. Then you have portfolio websites like for an artist or a photographer. Then they would have pictures or images on the website. And then you will have, and those pictures or images, by the way, they are a portfolio of their work. I, for instance, would have a portfolio of websites on my website. Then you have website applications. Those are websites that do things. TurboTax. Facebook is an application. So Blue Cross Blue Shield or any kind of insurance website where you look for a doctor or try to find a doctor, or you may find websites with mortgage calculators or websites that let you create things. Those are applications. They communicate with databases and they hold information and they do different things with that information. And then you have web store or e-commerce like Shopify, Amazon, Walmart, Target, JCPenney, any of your department stores. You might have your own online store selling t-shirts or something. And then you have your local business presence. I structure most of my training toward the local business because local business, if you have a local business, it really is relatively easy to rank in the search engines. Your local business, talk a little bit more about that. It has things like your map, your address, your hours of service, the products you sell and what types of products. You might even have demos about your products and any other information people will gain about your local business. Now, the difference between a small business website and the enterprise websites mainly is the money that they put into it. They have a person for each area that's related to their website, a person or departments for those areas. And namely an enterprise website, and you'll see a typo in my slide. I didn't promise a perfect presentation, but I do promise you great information. But an enterprise website is an online website presence that is developed to handle high volumes of traffic. It can scale up or scale down. They consistently generate revenue. And again, they are just really robust websites. And they include things like the UI designer, and I won't get into that because that's a separate video, but you can see the different roles involved on screen. And on an ongoing basis, you're going to at least need a social media manager, if not do it yourself. You're going to at least need continuous graphics and or video to go on your website to update your content. And you're going to continuously need a content manager or you yourself to update that content, and continuous maintenance and security if you are going to stay safe online and protect your customers. What can you expect to spend in owning a website? Well, you can schedule an appointment and I can go even further into detail on these, but you can at least expect your website domain charges every year, your hosting that occurs every year. A domain name can be between $6 and $40 yearly. Hosting can be between $3.50 a month. I think I've seen $2.50 a month up to $50 a month, or $100 a year, or higher for enterprise website hosting, as much as $300 to $1,500 monthly. Some people may even pay more. It just depends on the amount of resources you're trying to um, utilize and how much bandwidth you need and things like that. So those are kinds of charges you can expect with hosting. And then you need a security certificate, which is an SSL, and you pay for that yearly. Some website hosting companies offer an SSL for free. If you host on the Leadsy.net platform, that is my platform, then I provide that SSL for you for free. Then you have maintenance and security updates that occur on a monthly basis, and you get so much maintenance and security or a package of sorts. And I need to plug in because I don't want my battery to run out. Okay, there we go. Now, you're going to have content updates. That's going to occur monthly, or you may have someone on staff, or it may be yourself. You update the content monthly, and then those are going to be monthly charges, or they're going to be free if you do it in-house. The biggest charge, though, that you're going to have is your design and development. And you have that charge, it's like an upfront charge. You pay that charge and you forget about it until you're ready to do a website overhaul. So design and development is charged based on the ROI you can expect to get, or the return of investment. And the design and development, um, those can range based on what they put, or the work that they put into it. For instance, you might be a marketer and all you need is the technical aspect of your website done. You have a designer in-house, or maybe you're a designer and you need someone to develop. Then that design and development, or making your website come to life, will be a charge given to you by the web developer. And that charge can range anywhere from 1,500 to 25,000, 10,000, to upwards of 300,000 or more if you're doing an enterprise website. I worked on a bank project one time that was easily $500,000 at minimum. And that was a redesign. They had a ton of content, a ton of applications and things that needed to be integrated. So design and development, when you talk about costs, those are all relative to what you can expect. If you're having someone to design your website and it's a custom website, think about what return you're going to receive on that website. How much money do you expect to make off of your website? Because if you own a website and if you're putting money into it, then you're expecting to make money off of your website. Okay. Secret number 2. To beat the algorithm, any algorithm, without resorting to shady tactics, is to follow the rules and use the platforms as they are intended. There are all kinds of gurus out there giving away, some even giving away false information, some doing it erroneously and not on purpose. But never try to do these quick fixes. There are some basic things that you can do, and you do them on a regular basis, you're going to rank. with little effort. You're going to rank because you're really just operating in your own business practice. And if you run your website like you would your outside business, your local, your physical business where you go into the office every day, then you will always fall into this category where you're operating according to the internet rules. To extend that a little further, these things here, these 8 key elements, your domain name, your business location, having legal information on the website, these are the minimum things that you need on your website, and your website will begin to rank properly in the search engine. You need your domain name, you need um, your business location. That needs to be somewhere that people can easily find it. They'll know you are a real company. You need a legal statement on your website, such as the privacy policy, how you're going to use people's information, and what information you're actually going to collect, whether or not you're going to share that information. People want to know that, and it's required. And then if people use your website, you have a website like Facebook, for instance, then you have to abide by the terms of service. So you would need a terms of service agreement on your website if your website is one of those that people use to do certain things, or it's an application driven website that people come to your website to use. Now, website security. People will tell you that you purchase an SSL or a security certificate from the hosting company and your website is safe. And that's not true. You need an SSL on your website. That is a requirement. But the reason an SSL is required is because people have forms on their websites, and people are filling out things like email addresses. So the SL security certificate encrypts the information that goes into any form that you will fill out on a website. And that includes payment forms. Now, a lot of websites use other payment processors, and those payment processors, like PayPal, they have security encryption on them. And so, really, SSL or security is a kind of like a misnomer or a misnaming convention, because security involves more than an SSL certificate. There are actually 4 different levels of security that I'm not going to get into here, but it is the minimum that is required by the internet uh, rulers, if you will. And then you need great content all the time. If you got great content on a regular basis, then you are going to be in good shape. Your design and images, they need to be done by professionals. A picture is worth 1,000 times. I'm an artist, but I'm not a graphic artist that creates these images, although I can. And so when I need images, really good images that I can't do myself, I'm going to pay someone. Now, you can buy images or you can get free images, but if you use those free images, keep in mind that you're not the only one going for those free images. So you're probably going to see them on other people's websites. And number 7 and 8, email systems and automation, those are extras. You don't have to have those to rank, but things like MailChimp to automate the collection of email addresses, that's just extra to help you, build your business on the web. If you collect email addresses, then you have people that you can talk to on a regular basis. You get to stay in front of those people. Now, everything I just told you up to this point, things that you absolutely must have for your website, is available in my ebook that's on Amazon, A Small Business Guide to Google Search Engine Marketing. Now, I can make that available to you for free. It's not free if you go out there right now, but if you're on this webinar and I have your email address, then you're going to get an email with a link to download the book for free. Now, that's one of your free gifts. There's more. Stick with me. All right. Your domain account. Um, the number one, there are a lot of things I can share with you to help you to protect your domain, to avoid it from being stolen. I had a gentleman, he gave a developer $10,000, his 501c3, and all of his web credentials. And the guy ran off and he never saw him again. And he called me to contact to see if I could get his website restored and back in his possession. And it wasn't an easy thing. In fact, I didn't even know if I was going to be successful, but I did. But I say all of that to say, you be the person responsible for purchasing your domain. Don't hand a developer your credit card information and say, buy this domain for me. Because then they have all of your credentials. Don't uh, call a web company and say, hey, I want a domain. Can you purchase it for me? Don't even use a platform and purchase a domain through that platform. Although I did at one point make domain purchasing available in my platform, and I may offer it again. But the advantage to purchasing a domain yourself is you have the key. You have you can contact the domain registrar and get the domain if you need help purchasing it, and you will have the credentials yourself, and you won't have to ask your web developer. I've had a lot of people come to me and say, hey, I want you to take over my website, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my website information. I might have to start over. That is the reason you want to protect your domain. Then you never want to let your domain expire, because if you let it expire, it goes offline. And if it goes offline, it has to start over in the search engines. Okay, so that's my soapbox about domains. Okay, we're getting through this. Secret number 3, to avoid account charges. I'm going to shorten this and skip over a lot of it. But what I will say is you contact your domain registrar or your hosting account and get them on the phone and ask them to walk you through every charge that's on there. And you want to know when those charges are being billed and how often, because I incurred nearly $1,000 charge because the website host was billing me multiple years at a time, and I didn't know it was set up to auto renew for that many years at a time. And the way that it happened is I called them and I made a purchase at one time to renew those charges all at once. And then it came time to renew and I wasn't aware of it. And so those were some high charges that I accrued. So you don't want to do that. Okay, let's get to secret number 4. Okay, how to make your website pop. This one is a fun one. If you want to look like the big boys, it goes back to what I said. These few things here: professional images, a color palette, and then you'll want to follow the template. So professional images, if you can't take great photos, get a photographer. It's a one-time charge and you get to use those photos over and over. Go to a website, Google, I don't know why that word is so hard for me to say. Google color palette and select some colors. You'll find a tool that will allow you to select some colors that you could use to represent your website and make it consistent throughout the site. If you'll notice, this presentation has a specific set of colors that is consistent, even though the pages may look different or have different layouts. So that's what a color palette will do for your website. And if you get a designer to do it, you could do a color palette yourself, but if you get a designer to do it, they are going to know what really works. And designers can do things that make you say, let's say if I can design, and I'm a pretty great designer, I might add, but I can't do all the things that an actual professional designer does. And if I give him my website or her my website and say, hey, can you spruce this up for me? They're going to make some changes, maybe not very many changes, and my eyes are going to notice it, and I'm not going to know what they did. But they do things like that to make your website pop, which is why I highly recommend website designers or photographers. And then you have a template that you might use to build your website. Maybe you built your own WordPress website and you use a premium template. In fact, I create templates, custom templates that my users on the Leezy platform use. When you're using a template, you want to follow the template. Don't try to customize it. If it says um, use a, a 13 by 9 image, or if it says use a square image in this field, if it says use an image with a dark background and light colored text, then do that, because that template is giving you instructions to get the best results. And it is to get the best results for the greatest amount of people. If you need stuff customized, then you'll probably want to get someone to customize it. Another secret in secret number 4 is, if you find yourself using a template and things don't look right, then chances are you have broken one of the rules, or you're not following the guidelines of the template. Okay, overcoming your fear of big tech. Well, basically, you overcome your fear of big tech by getting out there and using technology, learning and Googling things. Um, don't be afraid of technology. You have Google, Bing, and Yahoo. You can search for anything, including YouTube videos that show you how to do things. If you don't know what a tech term is, ask them. If you're ever talking to me and you don't know what something means, in fact, you can contact me via my website and ask a question, and I'll answer it. If you contact me and if you ask the right question, I might even make a video about it. So never be afraid of technology. Now, the way you avoid being affected by big tech changes is, there's lots of information out there. Find a professional that you trust, one professional that you trust, and get your information from them. Otherwise, you'll be confused. When I was learning about this tech, I learned from all kinds of gurus who said this or that, and this is how you get your search engine to the top. Some of that information was bad, and I found out the hard way. Um, I have a formal training. I went to school, to college, to learn some stuff, but I also learned in corporate environments, which is where things are happening, and I learned from the people who were making the rules. So you got to know the rules first in order to break them, and if you don't know the rules, then it's going to get you in a lot of trouble. So find a person that you trust, you stick with them, you try it, and you if you find out it's benefiting you, then that is the way that you go. You absolutely do have control. If you own your own.com, then one of the ways that you can take control is making sure your website is up to date, making sure you're building your own leads, and build in some offline processes, because you can use Facebook, you can use Google, you can use YouTube, and all these other platforms, and they're great. But what would happen if the internet went out? Or what would happen if October 4th happened again with Facebook, WhatsApp? I'm pretty sure they fixed that by now. And in fact, I've actually never seen it happen, although it may have happened. But again, I don't use social media all the time. But you can control your own website. So I'm steering people toward investing the time, if they possibly can, in their own website property. Use the social media platforms, but but also don't neglect your own .com. You absolutely do have the power. We're all giving the the big boys our power. They benefit and we benefit. Their benefit is much greater than our benefit because we, the billions of people, are using those platforms. So you could build your own. That's one way you take back your power, and you are responsible for the hosting, the domain. You pay a developer, you get your custom site built, and you're steering everybody. You're driving traffic to you, and you've got the maintenance and security, but that can be expensive. However, it doesn't have to stop you from having an enterprise website. Now, when you're starting out, things cost a lot of money and every dollar counts. So I tell people, if you decide to build a website, don't look at it as an expense, look at it as an investment. Because remember, the goal is you're going to make money off your website. Now, if you have very limited budget, you can use website builders like Wix, Squarespace, ClickFunnels. You can even use Leadsy.net, my platform, and you get 30 days for free. Website builders are great, but you don't own them. You pay a monthly charge, and they do benefit you, but just keep in mind that you don't own them. And I can talk because I have a website platform. And do I want you to be a part of my website platform? Yes, because I think it's great, and other people think it's great as well. But that is the trade-off you get versus building using a website builder or using Wix or Squarespace, and then you have to spend the time learning to use them. In fact, I'm going to insert a shameless plug here. My platform, there's a demo. If you go to leadsy.net/webinar, in fact, let me type it in here. If you go there, you'll see a demo of how easy my website builder is. You'll see some of the templates and things like that. You'll see a replay of this webinar as well. So that's another way. Website builders are a great way to get started because they are managed by the company. They include the security, the virus protection, the maintenance, the backups, things that you would have to worry about if you own and manage your own .com. What I would recommend is, yes, have your own .com, but don't have a whole lot of stuff on it. Just have some basic information that doesn't need a lot of updates. And then you can use a website builder in the beginning, um, while you get ready to migrate. You got technology upgrades that the owners keep up with the latest technology so you don't have to. Updates, we do all the work. Um, we have website strategy. In fact, inside the Leadsy dashboard, you'll see when you go to the demo page, and you can even request. There's a link that you can schedule time with me, and I can walk you through a demo of it if you need a personal demo. You can walk through it step by step. We've got built-in support. There's a section with training in it, and that section shows, step 1, step 2, step 3. You get to leverage years of professional knowledge and expertise and focus on what you do best. Our sites are built on highly available fault tolerant servers. So you get to receive support built right into the dashboard. Now, I promised you some more free gifts. I'm going to include, if you're revamping your website, I'm going to include my website planning template. And this is about a $2,000 value because what it does is, let me walk you through what it does. I'm going to come back to it in just a moment, but it walks you through the process of uh, planning your website, and you have a place to organize everything. So you have um, my website template that I'm going to give you for free. And I promised you the SEO book that is on Amazon for free. And I'm going to add one more gift, and that is I'm going to give you a Leadsy website account to practice everything you learn. Um, that is a $6,500 value that you'll get free for 30 days. And then if you like it, you can just pay a monthly charge for whichever level you join the platform on. And the Leadsy website platform is just a really quick way to get your website business up and going with the built-in SEO and um, management tools, even some marketing tips inside the dashboard to help you build your business on the web. Now, back to the free template, you get to, there's tabs in there. You get to input your hosting information, keep up with all of your account information, credentials, and it kind of guides you to the types of accounts that you're going to need to set up um, your account logins for you and for other people. And all of this is in one document. Then you have your business demographic information. This stuff actually helps you to plan if you're going to do advertising. Notice there are credentials, your company information, your keyword research. I even included a 3-month activity schedule, and that is to help you generate um, a, a strong presence on the web. And you can do that by following this template. In addition to that, you get so let me recap. You get the included gifts, those 3 included gifts, the website planning, the marketing ebook, and the Leadsy website. You do it yourself with my instructional videos inside the dashboard. You get all of that today, free for 30 days. Now, however, the website planning and the marketing ebook, you get to keep that. Okay, so that's what you get today for staying on the webinar. And then I have another bonus. Let's say, because Leadsy is a monthly website charge, the plans start at $50 and go upwards from there. So what if you were able to have an enterprise website with uh, great website hosting? You still get the website planning, except for I walk you through this website planning with some pre-recorded videos or live videos over that 3-month period of time to help you position your website. You get your marketing ebook, and you still get to keep that. Whatever you do, you're going to get to keep the website planning doc, and you're going to get to keep the marketing ebook and the Leadsy do-it-yourself website. That's the only thing you won't keep after 30 days. But you have no hosting charges, you have no maintenance charges, and you have no upgrade charges. Okay, so that value is a $6,500 value. Imagine me and my team doing all of this stuff for you, and you paying $6,500, but you get it today at a one-time cost of $697. Now, that one-time cost of $697 is forever. And the reason is I want people to use the platform. I want to get a few people using the platform. I'm not going to do this deal because I'll lose money for very many people. I'm only going to do it for the first 100 people. And after that deal is gone, then I'll go back to the regular, monthly charges, which is still a great deal. Imagine paying $50 a month for peace of mind. You know, my son and I have a saying, and we said the back inverted. You can't pay for peace of mind, meaning there's no amount of money that you could pay that would not be worth the peace of mind. So I'm also going to throw in, for quick responders, 1 hour of personal consulting. Now, people who come on after the the webinar presentation may or may not get that 1 hour personal consulting because we can't, um, be stretched that far for this amount indefinitely. So right now, as of today, as of this webinar, you get the 1 hour personal consulting in this deal. And so all of this value today for a one-time cost of $697. If you would like this deal, I'm going to give you a small business promo code, or better yet, the best way to get this deal is to go to leezy.net / let me change this, webinar, WEBINAR. That is the best way to get this deal. And of course, it's going to change my text color. But that is the best way to get this deal. And you will get this, you will pay a one-time cost, and that one-time cost gets you your site forever. So you might say, well, what if I end up leaving the platform? Well, if you do, then we can take your content and migrate it for you. When I say migrate, we'll migrate it off of our platform and hand it to you. We won't migrate it or migrate it into your content. I probably shouldn't use that word. We will package your files and we will give them to you, and you will give them to your next platform, or you will install them on your next platform. That is, if your next platform is WordPress compatible. Our platform is compatible with WordPress, whereas on other platforms, when you leave them, you just have to start over. You own your content. If you left Facebook today and you got a lot of content on Facebook and you want to use it, you got to move that content somewhere else. You know, you might have only placed this one long post. I've seen people place long posts, or like on LinkedIn. I've got some great articles on LinkedIn, but if I ever leave the LinkedIn platform and I want to use those articles, if I close my account, I got to rewrite that article, or I have to go to LinkedIn, copy and paste that article and save it somewhere. And if it's a video or if it has resources, I got to go take the time to grab all that information. Whereas what I'm telling you today, if you ever leave this platform, we will give you your content. You can have it and you can take it with you and use it somewhere else because you paid for it. Now, you get that deal whether you're paying monthly or not. And I'd like to thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or schedule time at the website address that I gave you, leezy.net / webinar. And I'll see you on the next training.